Hello, and welcome back to a Thingz Talkz with Trebor and live streaming with Trevor EHHP and the lovely Miss Rosa Dream. Or for some of you who are more familiar with us, Rob and Jen. If there are any issues with sound, please let us know. Welcome back to a Thingz Talkz. Sorry, we were just double checking on our end, so I think we're good. Okay. So, anywho, today!
Jeez.
It's been a little while since we've done a Thingz Talkz. We apologized 2 weeks ago. Jen was having a flare-up for fibromyalgia, and I've been on a new medication that's been kind of not the best experience in the world with side effects. So we apologize we missed our last Thingz Talkz. In today's chat, we're going to be talking about Simone Biles and the discussion around there, as well as some other conversations that have come up due to the current Olympics that were supposed to be last year and were postponed to this year, because there's been a lot of discussional topics from there. Obviously, on our Thingz Talkz every other week, we do our highs and lows, so we'll be doing that. We will also be chatting about our D&D characters. We'll let you know what happened with Pi and Remselnick 2 weeks ago, because we didn't update you there, and let you know what's going on with our characters, because I'm back to an older character and Jen's starting a newer character because of our D&D setting. We'll also give you guys an update on what's going to happen this month on our channel and where we're planning on going with things. And as always, make sure you hop in and join us in the conversation. If you're watching this later on say, our YouTube or our Facebook, throw some comments in below. We like to hear from you guys, as well as like to get your input on what you'd like to see us do, talk about. We try to come up with ideas. We do talk a lot about mental health and the importance of it. If you hadn't been aware already, we're going to start off with our affiliates. Since our last Thingz Talkz, since our last Thingz Talkz, we have added a new affiliate. I think since our last Thingz Talkz, may have been near our last Thingz Talkz, but we added a new affiliate. So for those of you who aren't aware, we are Dice Goblins. Hashtag Dice Goblins or Dice Hoarder, whatever you want to put. We've done lots of mystery dice unboxings, even non-mystery dice unboxings. Skeletor, Cyber Skeletor's over here somewhere that we can put dice in. Once we get a new house, once we are able to buy a house, we will get a studio set up, and some of our nerdy stuff will start to get displayed in the studio for all of you to enjoy. Yeah. We have a cool little gift from my sister for Christmas. That's a little dragon bookshelf that holds my fairy tale books, which are a beautiful collection. We have the skeleton, cyberpunk skeleton, that was featured on a video from an unboxing. Yep. And we'll get a bunch of other stuff up in there, board games and such. My pirate map that's hanging, if you've watched my recent videos, hanging over our one door in the bedroom. Yep. As a new pirate map, so we'll have those up. But we are now affiliated with Skull Splitter Dice, one of our initial reviews of mystery dice unboxings, and one of our favorite dice sets. Yeah. When we get to our D&D section of the channel, we'll tell you a little more about Skull Splitter Dice and why we love them based off of our campaign from session from yesterday. Yeah. But if you haven't done so already, please, a link is in the description below. Go check them out. They've got some great customer service. They really get into that role playing. They make it an experience buying dice. Yeah. We love them. We love what they do. Going there also supports us. So if you want to feed your goblin dice hoard addiction, we strongly encourage it and strongly suggest you go check out Skull Splitter Dice.
If you have the means. We are not telling you to deplete your savings account on dice here.
But if you're looking for new dice.
Yeah. Or the perfect dice for somebody you love.
Yes. in any shape or size. Probably this week or next week, I will have my last of my 3 months of Dice Envy coming in. So I'll have another dice boxing from Dice Envy, which has been a really great place to go as well. We are working on trying to become affiliated with them, but we need your help by hitting that follow button. We need some more people following us, and we can get some more, get affiliated with more of these places that we love. The other place that we've been affiliated with, and we've talked about this a lot because we've been affiliated with them for a while, is Humble Bundle. Our chosen charity has changed. We still think, what was it, Women in Need period, or Women's Needs period?
Help Women period.
Help Women period.
Yeah.
We still absolutely think that if you want to go help support them, that is great. But there's another charity that we've changed to because they have helped us out greatly.
It's Zachary's Mission. And I apologize, I am not familiar. I'm almost positive they're based in Pittsburgh. But I could be completely wrong on that. Anyways, I know that they have been one of the charities that have been helping me out a lot lately. I've been driving back and forth a lot to Pittsburgh, and, thank God there's people out there that have these kinds of charities, because every time I go out there, I get gift cards for my gas and some groceries, because I'm usually there for a few days. And, there's an Aldi's right next door. So, I get a little bit of money there. It helps me get food, so that way I'm not, eating out all of the time. I can still go and have groceries, even if I'm eating like lunch meat sandwiches for 3 days. Okay, that's fine. But these charities are so amazing and so important because they help out families that are already kind of in a stressful situation. Like right now, I'm visiting my niece. She just turned a year old in June and has never been home a day from the hospital since she was born. So, you have a sick child, and you're just, there are times that you can't be there all the time. I would love to be there every day, but I just can't. And, this charity is greatly helping with, my commute cost and food costs. Like, that can add up so fast. And I just think it's a really wonderful charity. And I think, for at least the month of August, we'll definitely be featuring them.
We have them as our chosen for the month of July.
Okay.
We're going to continue to do so for the month of August.
Yeah.
And we'll probably continue to do so for a little while until the little one comes home to us, because we are going to be her caretakers.
Yeah.
And probably for a little bit while after that, because we want to give back to them. So definitely check out Zachary's Mission.
Yeah.
If you want to help support them and support us in the process, and you're looking for new video games, Humble Bundle is a great place to do that.
Yeah.
Humble Bundle offers a wide range of games. Anything you could possibly find on Steam is likely on Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
And they give you a Steam code for it. Every month on the first Tuesday of the month, they release a Humble Choice package of 12 games that, depending on how you choose to pay, ranges from $13 to $20 for 12 games. That normally, price-wise, vary from about $150 in value to $300 in value.
Yeah.
So you're getting
They've been having some really good months.
Lots
lately.
of good games for $20 and most.
Yeah.
We have decided, instead of doing what we had been doing, where mostly myself have been like playing a little bit of the game and kind of going there, because we're only playing a chunk of the game. Our plan is for Humble Choice from here on out. Instead of us kind of looking at it and talking about it afterwards, we're going to start doing a live stream reaction every first Tuesday before my normal Mass Effect or whatever game I'm playing stream on Tuesdays, where we will give our reactions and thoughts about the games that are in this month's Humble Choice package.
Yeah.
The second thing we're going to do is by the third Thursday of the month. By the third Thursday, we will have up our review of the top games we feel from that package. That still gives you about a week and a half to get it if you choose to. If you want to wait till that third Thursday to take a look at it to see what we think of the package. But in general, it's always worth the money. If you want to build your video game collection on your PC without spending an arm and a leg, it's always a good option. Hello, Itva. I am going to butcher that. And welcome. We're glad you're joining us today. I apologize. You've got...
Who are you talking to? We're talking to you.
We're talking to you.
Saying hi.
We're saying hi, yeah. So yeah, check out Humble Bundle and all that fun stuff. And also, they also have... we're talking... It's just us talking at the moment. We're just discussing some of our affiliates at the moment. So... one of those things we do. But Humble Bundle as well has a bunch of bundles between video games, between books, software programs that you can go check out that always support great charities.
Yeah. And I'll also put a link down to Zachary's mission once this goes up on YouTube. I'll be sure to edit that so that way we'll be able to give you guys where, if you're interested, you can go and get more information off that page. I think we're totally being trolled right now.
I think we might be too.
Fine.
I don't know about this rare occurrence. This is our bi-weekly kind of vlog where we just talk about stuff, and we enjoy people talking with us as well, but if not, we're going to still talk because everything that we record does get put up to YouTube later on. Yep. So our main topic today, you're the one who brought it up to me, so I will let you begin that conversation.
I felt, since we discuss a lot of mental health topics, as people that both have, a little bit of depression and anxiety, as well as family members that, we've dealt with their mental health.
And working in mental health.
Yeah. It's interesting that with the Olympics going on and this huge discussion about Simone Biles, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of chime in and give our thoughts on that discussion topic. Now, if you haven't heard, Simone Biles is one of the American gymnasts. She's rated kind of top in the country, period, as well as kind of historically one of the best gymnasts as of late. And she withdrew from the Team Olympics for the United States because she took a stumble and felt that she was not in a good enough headspace mentally to be able to continue the competition without possibly injuring herself. And she's taken a lot of hate for it. There's people saying that she's misrepresenting her country, that she's letting everybody down, that she's a failure to her country, that if she couldn't have handled the pressure, she never should have gone. And I just thought that it was a topic that needs to be discussed. Because in that situation, yes, it's kind of like comparing yourself to like a musical theater performer. You can go up on stage to an empty audience and perform perfectly. And who's to say that you're not going to get up there show night and completely blank on your lines, completely forget the words that you're supposed to sing or say or anything like that. The fact that she competes on a national level already and is very, very highly decorated as a competitor. I think last I checked, she had over 30 medals, gold medals, both nationally and, Olympic medals combined. She has over 30 gold medals. And that's an achievement itself. The other thing is the poor girl's only 24. She's not somebody that's 45 that knows her life and has figured everything out. Yes, she knows she wants to be a gymnast, but to be under not only national scrutiny, but now world scrutiny, and going into this competition knowing that people are going to expect from her her level best, and for her to take a fumble, like a stumble, and say, that she knew, okay, I am way over my head right now. Like, I'm not okay. I don't think that I can't even imagine that kind of pressure. Like, I've done, performances and things like that, and I would get, you get that anxiety just on a local level. Like, could you imagine being like supposedly quoted the best gymnast in the world and having the entire world's eye on you
At 24.
at 24?
Yeah, I think that
Like,
some of the issue we forget is that these Olympians are,
children.
yeah,
They're children.
at most of them, like, go till about 30,
Yeah.
and by their 30s have retired from Olympics, and of course are set for life. But to get to that point, they start preparing and practicing and pushing at about my daughter's age,
Yeah.
Princess's age, so about
Yeah,
6. They start competing, getting into gymnastics, getting into
Yeah.
running, getting into whatever sport they're going to be competing at,
Yeah.
and pushing themselves to the max. Like anyone who's been a runner, even
Yeah.
mentally, there's blocks that you hit.
Yeah.
Like when I was a runner, I ran mile and 2 mile in high school. I ran the mile at a little under 5:30 and the 2 mile at about 11 minutes. So yes, do the math. I was running 2 miles at my mile pace.
Yeah.
But to get under those 30-second markers, your brain has to be retrained. It's a mental thing as well as a physical thing. Because your body goes, hey, stop doing this.
Yeah.
You're going to physically make yourself ill by doing this. Your body cannot handle this.
Yeah.
At least not at the moment. And I don't know about you, but in my early 20s, I wasn't really caring about my mental health. I wasn't really caring about my physical health. I am paying for it now. But to have someone that young say, I am not in the right headspace to be able to do this,
Yeah.
and rather than risk my mental health and physical health,
Yeah.
I'm going to back down and give someone else a chance to do this,
Yeah.
I think is very honorable.
Yeah.
For those of you who followed our channel for a while, you know that I work in mental health. I work with anyone from the age of 3, well, not anymore, but I had worked with anyone from the age of about 3 till about 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah.
At the moment, I work with people from about 18 to 80, 90s-ish, depending on their needs. My 18-year-olds are my toughest clients to work with because they don't want, like my 18 to 27-year-olds are my toughest clients to work with because they don't want to acknowledge that they have mental health issues.
Yeah.
They don't want to acknowledge that there's an issue there. They just want to be normal.
Yeah.
So to have someone at 24 say, I'm not mentally okay.
Yeah.
I'm not in the space that I need to be.
Yeah.
Not only is that honorable, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because that means that she's taking care of herself on all levels.
Yeah.
So yes, maybe it's a disappointment. And to be honest, if you watch a lot of those Olympians, if they don't get on that podium, they're their worst critics.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's mental breaks. If you don't hit that point that you're expected to, you break.
Yeah.
So to say, I'm not going to break, and if I do this and push myself,
Yeah. It's just, it's an incredible topic because, again, it has brought mental health to the forefront, which I'm so glad to see people discussing things like this. They need to be talked about. It's kind of like how people go at YouTubers. You know what I mean? Well, you're putting yourself out there. Why can't you handle the criticism? Because I'm a freaking human being. That's why. Okay? You can have days where people come at you and it's nothing but praise and you're doing a great job and we love watching your stuff. But then you could get a day where everybody in the world is coming at you. You're horrible. You suck. Why are you on here? Nobody likes you. The worst one, the whole go kill yourself club needs to go just, hang out together, because that's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. You're coming at a complete stranger saying something like that. How disrespectful are you? You have no idea what that person is going through. You're literally catching a glimpse of what their daily life is. And here they are just trying to bring you entertainment. And for you to say something like that to somebody, a complete stranger. Like, what? Where's your mama? Your mama needs to slap you, okay? You don't say stuff like that to people.
Well, and here's the thing. Those of us, especially those who are like huge Twitch streamers, huge YouTube influencers, like, this is their job.
Yeah.
Those of us who have normal day jobs, like, you go into a job and your boss isn't telling you to go kill yourself. Well, your clients might be.
Yeah.
But, like, you get the same criticisms from a job. I don't know about you, but I've had shitty days at a job.
Yeah.
Where everything seems to go wrong, and at the end of the day, your boss comes up and it's like, yeah, you fucked up today. Well, I didn't need to hear that. I've already been telling myself that all day.
Yeah.
So, I think we forget that this is their livelihood.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, without them, in today's society, where are we getting our entertainment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Sports are for our entertainment. YouTube is for our entertainment.
Yeah.
I think, in all reality, what it comes down to is what people don't understand and what people still lack the ability to address is their own mental health.
Yeah.
In all reality, mental health awareness has only really been coming to the forefront of society over the last 50 years, maybe over about the last 100 years.
Yeah.
But in the last 100 years, mental institutes who had very cruel ways of dealing with things were still present. We still have some mental institutes that are slowly being shut down to this day.
Yeah.
And in other countries, they're not in the same place that we are when it comes to mental hospitalization. We have a history of not dealing with mental health.
Yeah. You went into a mental hospital and were forgotten.
Well, and before that, when it came to witchcraft, a lot of individuals who were burned at the stake for being witches or being possessed by demons, normally that's associated with some sort of mental health disorder. Yeah. So we still don't have the best ways to... We've come a long way, and the mental health field has improved a lot. The DSM-V, which is the Guide to Mental Health Disorders, has changed in the years that I've been working in mental health, which has been about 10 years, with a couple extra years of education. When I went to school and took psych classes back in 2013, 14, they were just releasing the DSM-4, which hadn't been changed from the DSM-3 in about 10 years. Since then, in less than 10 years, we've had 2 changes to that book. So we're on the DSM-6.
That's insane.
So the way that we see mental health and mental health disorders is different. Asperger's is part of autism spectrum disorder now. Yep. The way gender dysmorphia isn't really considered a mental disorder as much so before. Being gay is not a mental disorder anymore. So all of these things have changed. So having someone be able to say, I'm not in a good headspace, like, we live in a world where most of us suffer from depression and anxiety. Yeah. Most of us find ways to cope. A lot of people don't.
A lot of people may not have the resources, though, either. You know, we've got a family that has supported us, with our mental health issues. We've always had at least someone we could turn to. I know I resort to my mom a lot,
Same.
because she's always been there, and she's never judged me for the things I've ever talked to her about, ever. And that's an amazing support. And some people just don't have that.
Yeah.
And if they don't have somebody in their court, they're not going to go and seek other services. And at that point, they're just on a downward spiral. And
that's
it's
where I come in on
yeah,
my daily basis.
yeah, yeah. You know, trying to get these people without a support system into the right programs and situations that could help them and help them build a support group. And I think, you know, as much as people want to badmouth, you know, the Olympians that are, you know, struggling with their mental health, because I know, what Michael Phelps,
Yeah.
the swimmer, he, ever since he's stopped competing, has been a very huge advocate for the pressures and everything that Olympians go through, and to help, you know, open the discussion about the mental health in the Olympics, you know, or as a competitor. And, you know, he's gotten a lot of, you know, backlash from it too, but he still keeps going with it because it is an issue, you know. It's something that has to be addressed.
Well, it's like the pageant babies,
Yeah.
the pageant stars, the
Yeah.
girls who are put on that stage and have the pressures that go through it. Like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, I go to dance class every week, and the amount of stress that those girls go through to perform at their best level,
Yeah.
which isn't even for a lot of them a competitive level.
No.
Those girls from the age of 3 to 18 push themselves. My daughter started dancing at 2.5.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah.
studio she goes to is great, and for those those younger girls, it's very much as long as they're enjoying themselves, they're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
If they go and do their own thing, that's fine. Even for some of the older classes, there are a couple of the girls who sometimes do their own thing.
Yeah.
But you notice in the recitals that the older girls, there's a lot more expected of them.
Yeah.
And they get pushed to their limits. But at the same time, they're not. One of the beautiful things about the owner and director of that studio is she's willing to sit and talk to the girls too.
Yeah.
Their mental health or physical health is important. We didn't have a recital last year because of COVID. She could have pushed. She could have done something else, but because of the safety of those girls, we didn't have a recital. And it was hard for all of us because our studio is like a extended family.
Yeah.
But
And the girls were, you know, they worked so hard, and then to not be able to perform was, you know, that was hard on everybody, you know. So, and it's just little things like that. Like, and we're in a completely different, you know, world now, you know, quote unquote, post COVID, you know, now that things are opening up a little bit and, you know, vaccines are going out and things like that, you know, we're trying to reacclimate to life because things are different now, you know, and
it's a new normal.
it really is. And I don't know, I think it was just mental health things need to be talked about more. And unfortunately, a lot of the avenues are suppressing it. Like YouTube suppresses it sometimes. If you don't have like a doctor or the licensing, it's like, oh, well, you can't talk about it. You're not an expert. No, you're right. I'm not an expert about it. What I go through and how I cope is going to be completely different to somebody else. But I'm allowed to tell my experiences.
Right.
I'm allowed to talk about this and bring attention
Sometimes
to
the best
it.
support. The reason why group therapy is very effective, especially in depression and anxiety, and especially in certain situations like single parenting and having PTSD, the reason why group therapies are so effective over just individual therapy is because a lot of times when we're going through depression, when we're going through anxiety, we feel like we're alone. We feel like no one can feel the way that I feel.
Yeah.
No one can understand how I feel. where when you introduce that group setting,
Yeah.
you get to the point where, okay, maybe they don't feel exactly like I feel, but they can understand how I feel.
Yeah.
Because they're going through the same symptoms.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
And if you are struggling with your mental health, with depression, with stuff, I don't have the links and numbers for all of the warm lines in the United States or around the world. I do have some for Pennsylvania. If you would be interested in trying to find those out and need help, you can email us at dndandthings@gmail.com, and I will more than likely be willing to help connect you to a warm line. Warm lines are peer support hotlines that give you someone to talk to if you don't have anyone else to talk to.
Yeah.
Great resources. Also, we are large advocates of the crisis and suicide hotlines. If you ever feel like you're getting to that point in stage, please, please, please reach out.
And you know what? From today on, I'm gonna always have that information linked down in our description. I'll update everything so that way, from here on out, you can have a national line. And please, if you're not in the United States, find something for you, because it's just everything can be talked through. That's not your only resort. Please, find somebody, to talk to.
So where we're at now is a good transition to our next segment of Thingz Talkz, which is our highs and lows. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time today, part of the reason why Jen and I work so well together is because no matter how hard it is, and sometimes it's easier than others, we try to keep an open line of communication. One of the ways we do that is we discuss our highs and lows of the week. Basically, what was one or two of the best things that happened this week, and one or two of the things that are the least best. Some weeks the highs are better than the lows. Other weeks the lows outweigh the highs. We always try. We don't always do this, but we try to start with our lows and then with our highs. There's a great TED Talk that I listened to at one point in time. That I think at some point in time I may have to have you listen to it, and it may be a topic of our conversation for our Thingz Talkz.
Okay.
That discusses why the difference between having a positive attitude and a negative attitude.
Okay.
And sometimes the way to change our mindset is to end on positive notes. We all often talk about all the bad things that happen to us and not the good things. So that's one of the reasons why we do highs as well as lows. Brings up the good as well as the bad. So yeah.
I have mine for this
Go
week.
ahead, because I don't.
Okay. I think my low for the week was Wednesday, which was my sister's custody hearing. Not going to go into it. Let's just say, things are what they are right now. But it's not my situation to discuss. It was just a lower day. To say things didn't go as we had hoped is an understatement. But again, not going to talk about it. Just know that's where my low is this week. My high would be, what was that? Was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. We had gone out for milkshakes?
Oh, yeah.
We had gone out for milkshakes, okay? And we go to this place called Sheetz, and it's essentially like a convenience store that has like fast food kind of stuff.
Based out of Pennsylvania, based out of Western Pennsylvania, has expanded to like Maryland, Virginia, Ohio, West Virginia. If you want to argue with us about any other gas station being better, you're wrong. There's nothing that beats Sheetz.
Right. But essentially what it is, it's a gas station, but it also has like, your typical convenience store, but then it's got like a hot food made to order like section that you can go in and get food. Well, we were craving milkshakes, and it's like, 11 o'clock at night.
Something
like that. And we're going out. We're sitting in the drive-thru, and all of a sudden, this car drives by, and I'm like, "What on earth is this guy doing?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "He's got the hose from the pump, still in the side of his car. Like, didn't forget to put the gas cap on. Didn't forget to close the... Oh, yeah, he forgot all of that because he took the hose with him." So at this point, he gets out of the car, goes into the store to tell them that somebody just drove off with one of the hoses. Now, thankfully, they've got, like, the quick releases and stuff like that. So, there wasn't, like, gasoline spilling everywhere. But, like, so this guy drives away. And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." So we're sitting there still waiting on our milkshakes, mind you. And somebody else had gone in and called over a manager. So he comes back out. We get our milkshakes. Just as, like, the guy walks away from giving us our milkshakes, I was like, "That's the car." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "That's the car that drove away." Wouldn't you know it, this kid, he had to have been, maybe between 20 and 25, okay? 25 at the most. And he comes pulling in to the pump that he just drove away from, gets out of his car, opens his trunk, and pulls out the hose, leaves it at the pump, and drives away again. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me. Like, you just drove away again?" Like, it was like, I wish we could have recorded it, because it was one of those moments that, like, saying it now, you're not going to believe it. Actually, I swear to God, this happened to us. It was hysterical.
Well, weird that I'm then looking on my phone. It happens more often than you think it would. So much that pumps now have a designed breakaway. So that if someone pulls out, the pump disconnects itself.
Yeah.
And that breakaway basically, like, it gets damaged and it costs like $100 to replace, but it will automatically, like, valve stop the pump, the gasoline. Yeah. So, like, yeah.
What was it that happened last night? Because we ran out for lemonades last night.
Yeah.
There was something that happened I was like, how does this happen? How does this stuff happen to us, like, all the time?
I don't remember.
What was it? I don't know. If I think about it, I'll tell you about it. But it was like, another one of those moments where, like, how does this stuff keep happening to us? Like, what? First we see a guy drive away with the pump. Like, that was my high for the week, because it was one of those situations, like, nobody's going to believe me when I tell this story. Like, this actually happened. I saw this happen. Yeah.
Do you think he's content or being frowny because we're not paying attention to him and sitting out here?
I don't know. We're talking about our cat.
Yeah. If you want to know more about our cat, go over to our Instagram.
Yeah.
Check him out. He's a beautiful Russian blue domestic short hair. Adopted. Foster.
I think he's just content.
Just content? Okay. Yeah. So my low this week has been lack of sleep due to my medication.
Yeah.
So I'm on a new medication because I've been diagnosed with being exercise-induced asthma to a certain degree. I've been struggling since about this time last year.
Yeah.
My health started going downhill about this time last year, and I was in the hospital at the end of September of last year. Energy drinks are bad for you, and can cause a lot of heart complications, along with being sick from possibly COVID at one point, and who knows what, strands of flu or whatnot. But the medication has been great for my breathing. It's actually able to, like, enjoy a weekend of playing with our girls and being silly without, like, losing my energy. And
that could be another high last weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my highs. Great, but on the flip side, the medication has been causing a side effect for me that, like, has been causing me to have insomnia, My brain starts running at 1,000,000 miles per hour when it's time to go to bed. I've been getting nightmares, and I don't normally dream.
Yeah.
So, like, it's been rough with my sleeping. So I'd say that's my downside, because I've had a couple nights this week where I just have slept crappily. My upside was actually that Wednesday night when I get Princess, Skylar, my little brother, wanted to come up, like, without being asked it or prompted, just wanted to come up and spend time with her. And it's always a joy to see her play with her uncle. And
Yeah.
with the week that I was having, it was kind of nice to be able to relax and be here for her, but, like,
Yeah.
to let her play.
Let
and-
somebody else run around with her.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'd be my
Yeah.
high.
Yeah. Last weekend was pretty cool though. We had the girls up here together and had a what would you call it? A rave dance party.
Glow stick dance party.
Yeah. So we had glow sticks and music and
Ice cream.
Blue ice cream. Let me tell you about this ice cream. Okay. My daughter's 3.5. Now she's delayed. She's still in diapers. Don't judge. You have no idea of my situation. Anyways, he brings out this ice cream for these girls. And let me tell you, it is electric blue. Like electric blue. And I'm like, that is 1,000% sugar right there. And she eats it. I was like, her poop's going to be freaking green and dye her butt green. And anybody that has ever given their kid too much blue dye knows this to be true. And he's like, what? No. Yeah. Yep. She has,
It was cute though, because I
has-
had little waffle cones. Because it was a unicorn ice cream.
Yeah.
So I gave them a couple scoops of the unicorn ice cream. And instead of putting it in the waffle cone, I put the waffle cone on the ice cream sticking out like it was a unicorn.
A unicorn. Yep. And they got
And then-
unicorn marshmallows.
Unicorn poop marshmallows.
Oh, that's right. Unicorn poop marshmallows. But yeah, it was so nice to see them, playing together and everything. And we found out that they don't like going to bed, but if you put them in the same bed, they'll shut up and go to sleep. So it's like, we fought with these girls for what? An hour and a half?
Months for bedtime.
Yeah.
Months
But
for
this
bedtime.
last weekend, it was like an hour and a half. It was like one would start crying, the other one would cry because the one was crying. Like, just go to sleep. It's this, it's that. It's
Wanted to pull out Samuel L. Jackson's video of him reading a bedtime story.
I'll go the fuck to sleep. And it was just, and then at one point they finally quit. And because we knew it was stall tactics, like they were fine. And they finally quit fussing and they
But then we
started giggling and we heard them talking. And it was like, seriously, he goes in then because I'm outside having a cigarette at this point. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like, they can stay up till 3 a.m. I don't care. Like, I'm not dealing with this right now. Like, they were just so frustrating that night. And he comes back out and he goes, Anna's gonna sleep with Princess. And I was like, okay. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I know they're in this. No. Princess wants her to sleep in the same bed with her. And in 10 minutes, they were both out. They slept all night long. And it was just like, I don't care. I don't care if they don't want to sleep in their own beds. If they want to sleep together in the same bed, they're 3.5 and 6. I don't care. I don't care. Just if they're on the floor with a sleeping bag, I don't care. Just as long as they're sleeping. So, but yeah, there's something else. And anybody that's a parent is going to understand exactly what we're talking about. Anybody else, you can go judge me all you want. I don't care. As a parent, there are people that know very well that their kids will sit there and scream themselves to sleep just to stay awake. Like, my daughter does it all the time. All the time. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're funny. They're definitely the light of our lives. So, those girls.
So that ends our areas of mental health talks.
Yeah.
This is a D&D channel, hence the name DnD and Thingz. The Thingz covers everything else. So one of the things that you guys have come to be familiar with if you follow us. If you're new, this is new for you. Is we talk about our D&D characters. For a while now, we've been talking about Remselnick and Pi. Of course, we've missed talking about them 2 weeks ago because we didn't do our Thingz Talkz.
Yeah.
So we will give you an update on them. But for the moment, they're going to be on the back burner. Our wonderful DM, who can go screw himself because he's traveling around the nation
With
Green Day.
Ah!
Hopefully he's well. We love Mark. Hopefully Mark's doing well and enjoying himself. It seems like he is. We miss him at our table. So we are taking a break from our Eberron campaign to go back to the campaign that I had started with. That Jen was going to be joining in, but we took a break from that because Andrew, our DM, needed a little bit of a break to figure out where he was going to go with the campaign. So Mark came in and we were enjoying that. For those of you who don't know, Remselnick is a 2.5 foot, 2.5 foot, like between 2.5 foot gnome with a bright green man bun and a bright green long goatee.
Yep.
Who is a artificer. He's got like big old goggles and a cloak, like leather cloak with different things attached to it and tools and all this fun stuff. And his companion Pi, who is a Warforged soldier who's not sure where she fits in the world anymore because the war's over.
Yeah.
So at our last campaign for that, we did a lot of wrapping up trying to wrap up some loose ends on.
We were trying to find the professor still. You guys found his library.
Yeah, that was the campaign before that you missed.
I had missed that one. So trying to break his cipher, which you weren't having any luck with. And
no, I got to get the key for it.
Yeah. So, and I think our last session focused a lot on the meeting that took place in the Warforged bar. Talking about...
She got little secrets. She got pulled away from the table to get a secret.
It was weird. It was weird, and I don't know what to do with it, but yeah, it was basically,
trying to wrap up some loose ends so that Mark could go away, and all of us are sitting there like, there's something. There's something here.
There's something we're missing.
That we're missing, and it's dangling right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
And everything we need is here, but...
we still haven't gone to the temple of the 6 or 7 or whatever gods.
Yeah, I think Remselnick at some point in time was going to get bashed on the head to get knocked out because he was doing some drunkenly stupid things.
Yeah, but he's a gnome artificer
who grew up with dwarves.
Yeah, and has a paranoid personality. So I'd want a drink to calm that shit down too.
So because that campaign is on the back burner, we have returned to Andrew's campaign set in the Far Realms, where I play a wonderfully charismatic, suave, sticky-fingered, swashbuckler rogue tabaxi named Aiden of the Blackfa, who is now not necessarily the sole owner of a keep in the middle of nowhere, but pretty much the leader of the majority of kobolds who are associated with said keep. Has blackmailed a alchemist and his apprentice. The alchemist's name is Old Man, who tries to play off as being a frail fuck who Aiden knows is full of crap. Hence why he's blackmailed into working for us. And has also kidnapped a halfling to be a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Continues to have kobolds raid to increase his wealth. And owns a triceratops.
Don't forget about your alchemist.
Yeah, the alchemist is Old Man.
Oh.
And we have this talking skull mounted on our keep wall.
Saint.
King St. George,
Okay.
the Dragon Slayer.
Okay.
St. George and the Dragon.
Okay.
If you're familiar with
No.
that story, that's where the reference comes from.
Okay.
Old English tale.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Aiden's this very suave,
Debonair.
yeah, who steals a lot of things, like a lot of things, lots and lots of things. We are also in that campaign trying to create a legitimate merchant company that will end up being a front for everything that I steal to be sold through somewhere else. We drive our DM crazy because we off-rail his plans for the campaign very often and tend to do things that he wasn't planning on for us to do.
Is it based? I don't.
What
Hi,
do you mean
Death
by
Adder.
Hi Death Adder? What do you mean by is it based?
You should totally play D&D.
It's fun.
You really should.
Role-playing game, lots of dice, creative spots. She wasn't sure about it to begin with,
I really
but
wasn't.
she was a WoW player, so I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us, Death Adder, and welcome.
Yeah, I base just means legit something to support.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, D&D. Yeah, it's so much fun. As somebody who's very new to it, I caught on very quickly because there's so much that you can make your own. Now, as far as like role-playing games, this is a first for me. As far as like actually trying to act out a character and like develop a story, you know, where like with World of Warcraft, the character, yeah, you got to pick what they looked like, but you pretty much were on a storyline. The game has a storyline if you want to, you know, Milo's teeth. But, you know, it's just, it's a lot of fun. Like the character that I have developed for Andrew's campaign is Yuntai, or however you say it. She's basically a snake lady. And she's a, what is it? Shadow
sorcerer.
Yeah. And sorry, my brain's not working.
Oh, you're fine.
And, but she's also kind of a con artist. She, you know, what was the background?
A charlatan.
Charlatan, yeah. So being a snake person and being able to talk to snakes and handle snakes and things like that, I have essentially set up a gig for myself where I have this exotic little snake that helps, you know, promote the potions that I'm selling to people that are not as aware that I'm pulling a con on them, you know, giving them little potions to help save them and make them stronger against these exotic snakes that have now been found to start invading the land. And when people kind of like, yeah, okay, lady, whatever, you know, I can, you know, that's a cue for my exotic snake to come in. Then they're like, oh my gosh, let me have the potion, you know. So it's kind of cool, you know, how I was able to join a gang of con people because they figured out it was a con and came over and was like, hey, you might want to stop conning or take your con somewhere else, or why don't you join us because we're a band of con too. So
somewhat con. One of us more so than the rest of us.
Right.
We have two breasts.
Tights like Ric Flair.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. The beautiful thing about D&D is you can do about anything you want. Now, there's some discussion that comes up about like this is what my character would do versus obviously you're playing in a party, so you don't necessarily want to do things that would go against the party.
Yeah.
But I've gone away from the party and completely stolen art and money and drugged people and bribed people, and I've done a lot of things as Aiden.
Yeah.
Aiden's a little more
But I mean, even this time, we were at your guys' keep, since I just joined the party, I'm now following with them. And at the keep, your kobolds are like, oh, we've discovered the crypt, but there's green glowing skeletons in there. We're not going in there. And we're like, okay. So we got to go beat up some green glowing skeletons that just wouldn't freaking die.
Which is where our little plug for Skull Splitter Dice and D&D is going to come in. Because our DM decided he did not like one of my dice because it was rolling really well.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, he gave me, a year and a half ago, maybe more. I've been playing in this group for about 2.5, 3 years now. Something like that. But I got a rapier called the Rainbow Rapier. Which has a nice ability that if you crit, it allows you to turn invisible. Normally, most of its abilities I don't end up getting to use as often as I like. Normally, I use my poison dagger because it does a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah.
I get like 2d12 dice, plus all my sneak attack dice, plus the regular dagger dice.
Yeah.
Well, the skeletons couldn't be poisoned because there's nothing to poison in a skeleton.
Yeah.
So I couldn't inject them poison in them. So I switched to my Rainbow Rapier. I get a crit. I turn invisible.
Yeah.
I go over to the next target and stand by it. Because I'm invisible, I get advantage on my next attack because they don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I crit.
Yeah.
So I essentially crit, killed this one skeleton, flounced over to the next one, popped out of invisibility to stab it, crit, and went back into invisibility.
Yeah.
Skull Splitter dice rolled. Metal, two like golden colored metal dice that have their logo on the D20.
Yeah.
Andrew wanted to ban me from using the Skull Splitter dice because I was rolling too well with them. He's like, are those dice legit?
They're weighted.
They're weighted.
No, they're not. He sits there rolling on that, and he's like, well, fine,
So, yeah, that was a fun thing.
Yeah.
We're not sure where we're heading next on that campaign.
Yeah.
But like always, we'll keep you guys updated on our characters.
Yeah.
Zathara, we'll see how she develops here over time.
He wouldn't let me cut the hand off of one of the kobolds.
You have no authority in my keep yet.
Then you should have cut their hand off.
I made a fine enough example out of him.
Kobolds stole something. And coming from a life of slavery.
Yes, well, the kobolds stole something that we didn't really care about to begin with.
I know.
And created a good way to use it. We had, at one point in time, one of our players had gotten a bracelet that had, like, a duck on it that every day summoned, like, anywhere between 2 and 40 ducks.
Well, it was 2d20.
2 D20s worth of ducks.
Yeah.
Would come.
Every day.
Every day. Now, at the end of the day, most of them would fly away. Well, the kobolds stole it. One kobold stole it and figured out that if you penned up the ducks that had come, they won't go away.
Yeah.
And ducks would keep coming.
Yeah.
So we have an endless supply of food for the kobolds. So it's one of those things where, like, the kobolds did something really creative with this item that we didn't care for because having 20 ducks following you around.
Yeah, when we realized that he had stolen the bracelet, there was like 120 ducks in the courtyard that this one kobold with this bracelet on is like shepherding.
Yeah.
To send to the cooks. Like.
Yeah. Now we have in this base at any given time anywhere from 70 to about 200 kobolds.
Yeah.
We have a small army, like a small legion of kobolds at our disposal.
Yeah.
So to feed all of those kobolds, it's like, okay, maybe what he's doing isn't too bad. The problem was he stole the item.
Yeah.
So the punishment that I decided on, because at the end of the day, for the majority of the kobolds, there's about a band of 60 that one of our other characters, they report to one of our other characters. But the majority of the kobolds fall under my leadership. So at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to decide what to do with rogue kobolds, because I kind of have a tyranny here for the most part. Because we just cleared out the area with skeletons, we had a bunch of skeletons that we didn't want to come back to life.
Yeah.
So we are having kobolds haul skeleton bones out to the surface and burn them.
Yeah.
Well, this kobold seemed to like to be a shepherd.
Yeah.
So he gets the hard duty of hauling and burning skeletons for 2 days.
Yep.
So, which I thought was an appropriate punishment.
And then he gets to go back to feeding the kobolds by
Yeah.
shepherding the ducks.
By shepherding the ducks. So, but in terms of D&D, that's an update on our characters. Some of our plans for the future on our channel is I'm going to start doing some recordings. We're going to start a series on our YouTube channel that I'm going to talk about character creation, how to roleplay, things to think about roleplaying, using voices versus not using voices. I like to do a French accent for Aiden, and Remselnik was moose and squirrel. Remselnik was a little bit of a Russian that I never could quite get the Russian. It was an awkward Russian.
Yeah.
But it was okay. Aiden's very much of a French, a very suave.
Yeah.
Not everyone does voices. We're going to talk about what to expect. There's a lot of books, source books when you first come into it. How to navigate that, what you really need to pay attention to. Creating a good backstory. As Jen can tell you, having a really good backstory can be the difference from having a character that you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing with this person.
Yeah.
Versus, I actually have an idea of where I'm going with
it. And these spells kind of work with her story, and these ones are they may not be the most powerful or whatever, but they work with what I'm wanting to do.
And I'll talk about min-maxing, which will eventually lead into a discussion about what to do if you want to DM. I have DM'd a little bit, not as much as I'd like. I'd like to DM more. One of our future plans on this channel, if we can get ourselves a house that has a space that we can make a studio and find some people who are okay with being on camera, is one of our future plans is that I will DM a live on stream sessions. Is one of our future plans. That may only be like a once a month kind of thing. But that's one of our future plans. I'm going to be working on the story for that, world development for the game, but it was just some expansion book, and it just I know a lot of people who have gotten some of the books just for the art and the stuff. Like, if you've looked at some of those books, it's really
some of the stories even like that surround like locations is
even
really
just
awesome.
The backgrounds of different creatures and whatnot. But if you're able to find a cool hobby shop, the beauty of our everyday now, go check out D&D Beyond. You can get a lot of the books digitally there, and there's chat groups there that talk about D&D, and even have some groups that are looking for players to play online even. I actually started in an online group that I found through D&D Beyond. And we played for about 2 years online through Roll20 and other means. Discord and Roll20, so it's a great place to go. Awesome. We're not artists ourselves, so our Instagram features our cat and our dice most of the time, because we very much enjoy our dice. But if you like fantasy, D&D is really a world that, like, your DM, the other players are creating the world that you play in. You bring what it is. There's Mr. Scotty.
Oh, this is our Scotty.
He wanted to be on camera today, it seems.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some talks about D&D, those kind of stuff. I will be recording some of the back end stuff as to how I created my world and all of that fun stuff, but it's going to be set aside till we start streaming to play ourselves.
Cats.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
We love cats.
We do. Mr. Scotty's a very dapper cat with his
little
bow tie.
Okay, time to say bye.
You done?
Time to say bye.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to do that. I have to wait to release the world building till we start our game,
Yeah.
as to not spoil anything for Jen, who will hopefully be playing in that campaign. We're not sure what our channel is going to look like here in the future. We do have the little one coming home from the hospital at some point in time who will be joining us.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to figure that stuff out. There's a possibility she may end up in some of our Thingz Talkz just because of how things will work out.
Yeah.
Jen has, if you guys have noticed, Jenna has taken a lot of a backstage role in our channel at the moment. Not that she doesn't want to be streaming and doesn't want to be playing the games. She just has a lot of other responsibilities at the moment. So she's been doing a lot of our edit. A newborn Chad baby? Not sure what that means.
No, it's my niece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she'll be coming home from the hospital here soon. So
She's one, but she's got some health issues.
yeah, she has a severe heart defect. She's had 2 major surgeries already. One at 10 days old and the second at 2 months. And then she's set for another surgery here in probably about a year and a half. But she's getting healthy enough that hopefully she'll be able to come home here soon. So we're very excited about that because a lot of people didn't think she was going to get that far.
Yeah.
So
We clearly are too old to know the popular slang.
she's like a attractive guy. For D&D. Mean terms. Oh,
No.
see, I don't do
No, we're 32 and
36.
36, so
Yeah.
we're old geezers at this point.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
so
Death
much.
Adder. We're hoping so too. We're
Yeah.
hoping to give her the best possible chances we can.
Yeah.
So there's that. We will be continuing still our Mass Effect Legendary Edition streams every Tuesday.
Yep.
I have some school obligations on Thursdays. So there's a possibility some Thursdays I will stream as well, but guaranteed every Tuesday. This week, obviously, will be the first Tuesday of the month. So as we said earlier in the stream, look forward to our Humble Bundle Choice Programs reaction stream.
Yeah.
Third Thursday of the month, then we'll have our videos like. Oh. Okay.
See, yeah. Okay.
We're definitely not up
I've
to
heard
date.
a Chad was kind of like the opposite of a Karen, or like the male version of a Karen. I don't know. There's so many names.
Not a problem.
Spend too much time online.
That's not a problem. So we'll have Mass Effect. I'm still debating on what I'm going to play after Mass Effect, but we still have several more weeks of that.
Yeah.
We'll have a video by the third Thursday of our reactions to the games. Some of that may be from Jen. Most of that might be from me.
Yeah.
We'll see from there. And I know Jen's got some plans for some videos here. Starting in September, we may start going into a little bit more of the spooky seasons discussions. So one of the things we talked about bringing into the themes of D&D are some of the monsters that come from fairy tales, myths, and popular legends.
And if you guys have any recommendations for co-op scary games, send them my way, please. Because
Yeah, she's
I'm
trying to
totally going to
grow.
get him to play some scary games.
Oh, I just finished I played all 3 of them back when they came out. I love all of them. Mass Effect 2 was the one that I originally started with. So I've been playing through Mass Effect Legendary Edition because it was just released a couple months ago. And so I'd love for you to join us on Tuesdays, Death Adder, and join me and discuss, have some conversations. A lot of times I'm playing alone. She watches while I play and monitors our chat, but we're always looking for more people to join us. We love having people joining our discussions as well. So thank you very much, Death Adder, and Eat Vag.
Don't say eat Vaj. That
That's-
sounds so terrible to you.
Yes.
You just now got what you just said.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. We really enjoyed the forest. if you haven't seen that, we have our videos of the forest back over on the our YouTube.
Yep.
We play a lot of 7 Days to Die together.
Yeah.
But we've had issues with recording and streaming that. It just...
Yeah, I'm going to have, like, compilation videos. Yay! Thanks for following us.
Yes, we appreciate it.
But, yeah, I'm going to have some compilation videos of our 7 Days to Die play, because sometimes we just get into some crazy stuff.
Well,
like today. Just today. Wasn't it today that I put you in the meat grinder?
It was.
So we have a base, and I know we're going on forever, but we have a base in 7 Days to Die where it's underneath the house is like this huge like bunker. And so in part of the house, we tore out like a staircase that went down into a wine cellar, which he then cleared out the cellar because they were trying to dig into it and put
Well, they
like
go in and they try to dig from the cellar down into the bunker.
So you put these giant like blades in there and hook them all up to, you know, electricity. Well, now because we've left that area open, they're coming down into there, and we just have to go and flip a switch and they get grinded up. Well, there's this one monster we call the Screamer, because she's literally like a woman in white with black hair, and she screams, and then this horde of zombies comes to you. Well, when you hear her, we always call out, oh, it's a Screamer, so that way we don't get because the more she screams, the more zombies that come. Well, she was down in the pit, so I was like, oh, we just made it, you know, put up new doors so I can get over there quickly. I go running over, flip the switch, and he goes, ooh, ow, 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 ow. And then I just see on my screen, Trebor EHHP has died. And I was like, oh, did you go in there? And he's like, yup, I went in here to shoot her. And I was like, I'm sorry. I turned the blades on. That's what I thought they were there for. Ran over, flipped a switch, and I killed him in the process. And it was like, why are we not recording? Why are we not recording this? Like, it's moments like that we have so often that it's just like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to kill you.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other things that we have coming up here soon. I do think that one of our September-October games, despite my thoughts, is going to be Phasmophobia.
Yes!
And
yay!
Disturbed.
I think that was the other one. It came in one of the bundles,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's those two. We will, as soon as Sons of the Forest releases, we'll be playing that.
Yeah, we will definitely
the
try
ending
and
of the
stream
forest definitely fucked with me because I don't do horror.
Yeah.
I do not. 7 Days to Die is just kind of like I'm the
It's
crafter.
yeah.
Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a hot summer. 7 Days to Die is like, it's not really much of anything. Like it's whatever. I jump sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch me playing BioShock, like BioShock's kind of at the like upper limit of my ability, and I also had to stop that one because I have issues with high blood pressure. So
yeah.
So I couldn't.
And you were just out of the hospital when
Yeah.
you started playing that.
So if you do go back to our YouTube channel and see anything that we've played a little bit of and would like to see more of that, please let us know. We are working on trying to figure out our stream schedules and what we're recording. We will be recording here hopefully soon another episode of Viking Zombies.
Yes.
I
love that game.
We got to record some more of that. Yes. Well, and some of the scenes, like, even just, like, the doctors and psychos in there, like, you know it's coming, and I don't do horror. I've never done horror.
Yeah.
Like, she gets upset because I won't sit out here and watch horror movies with her. I don't do horror. I don't see the point of scaring oneself shitless. So, I struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so... but if you see any games that we have played, if you see any games in our reactions, in our reviews of the Humble Bundle Choice games,
Yeah.
that you would like to see us play more of.
Yeah.
We'd like to know what you guys would like to see. Obviously, we're going to pick games that we like to play as well.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everyone coming in. Hopefully, we see more of you, Death Adder. We greatly appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So we're running up towards our normal set time for our Thingz Talkz here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening.
Yeah.
As always, continue to be a beautiful, unrepeatable miracle, also known as a bum.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. Check us out Tuesday.
Tuesday for the Humble Bundle.
Yep.
Make sure you check us out on all of our social media
Yep.
sites. You can find us at DnD and Thingz all the time.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go.